welcome to the Players to Watch episode for Gameweek 34. First up is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The Manchester United forward was dropped to the bench for the 2-0 win over Chelsea last game week, bringing into question his potential minutes going forwards. However, it was likely more of a tactical move than one forced by fatigue, with Rashford and Lingard's pace being preferred by Mourinho. During his last 6 games, the tally of 7 shots on target managed by Ibrahimovic is behind other big hitters such as Kane, Lukaku and Aguero. However, the big Swede has still returned a respectable 3 goals and 2 assists during that period. His 12 attempted assists during the same time frame ranks the United striker first for assist potential amongst forwards. Man United have scored 10 goals in their last 6 Premier League games, which is on par with Man City and Chelsea. Only 5 teams have scored more. Their confidence will be high following the impressive result against league leaders Chelsea. Game week 34 will see Jose Mourinho's side participate in a double game week, where they'll first face a Burnley side that have won just 1 of their last 10 games. They can, however, be hard to beat at home, and have conceded just 14 goals during their 16 home games this season. Following that, it's an away trip to Man City in the Manchester derby. They've picked up back-to-back wins in the Premier League against Hull and Southampton, where they've scored 6 goals and conceded just once. Prior to that, however, they failed to win any of their previous 3 games, suffering a defeat to Chelsea and drawing with Arsenal and Liverpool. So while the fixtures aren't overly juicy on paper, there is still a huge potential for Man United players to return points during the double game week, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic is likely to be highly owned and highly captained, so going with that would be a huge risk. The next player to watch is Christian Benteke. The Crystal Palace forward has hit form in recent weeks, having returned 3 goals and 1 assist during his last 4 Premier League outings. During his last 6 games, Benteke's tally of 8 shots on target is more than Zlatan Ibrahimovic has managed. Only Kane, Lukaku and Aguero have managed more amongst forwards. Sam Allardyce's men have managed 3 wins and 1 draw from their last 5 games, including victories over Chelsea and Arsenal, so they come into the double game week in fine form. They'll first take on a Liverpool side that have narrowly managed to grind out results in recent weeks, with a 1-0 win over West Brom in Game Week 33, after coming from behind to beat Stoke 2-1 in the previous fixture. Klopp's side have had the tendency to play better in the big games this season, but often struggle against teams that keep their shape well and defend deep. Following that, it's a home game against Spurs for Crystal Palace. Pochettino's men are the most informed team in the league, having secured 5 straight wins and conceding just twice over that period. But given that Big Sam's men have recently picked up results against Chelsea, Arsenal and Leicester, Crystal Palace will certainly be up for the fight. Next up is Eric Bailly. Jose Mourinho's side pulled off an incredible 2-0 win over league leaders Chelsea in Game Week 33, which saw Eric Bailly secure his 3rd clean sheet from the last 4 Premier League games. Injuries to Phil Jones and Chris Smalling look to have secured the place of Bailly at the centre of Man United's defence, and with a double game week coming up for them in Game Week 34 and a home game against Swansea to follow in Game Week 35, now looks like a good time to invest in the defender. Man United have kept a total of 13 clean sheets so far this season, only Spurs have kept more. In addition, Jose's side have conceded just 24 goals in total, and again only Spurs have conceded fewer. In the last 6 games, no team have conceded fewer goals than Man United's 3. First up in Game Week 34, United host a Burnley side that have won just 1 of their last 10 games, scoring a total of 8 goals over that period. Only Sunderland and Middlesbrough have managed fewer. Following that, it's an away tie with local rivals Man City in the Manchester derby. City have picked up just 2 wins from their last 5 games, but they have managed 10 goals over that period, which ranks them 4th for goals scored. 6 of the 10 goals, however, were scored in comfortable wins over Hull and Southampton during their last 2 game weeks. An in-form Man United defence is sure to be a greater test for Pep Guardiola's side. And the final player to watch for this game week is Ben Gibson. Despite a long run of terrible results that have seen Middlesbrough fall to 19th in the league table, they have proven to be defensively solid at times. Their tally of 39 goals conceded ranks them 6th, behind only Spurs, Man United, Chelsea, Man City and Everton. Similarly, only 5 teams have managed more than Middlesbrough's 10 clean sheets so far this season. Injuries have plagued them at the back all season, and that remains the case for Game Week 34, with Fabio doubtful and Friend and Chambers having only recently recovered from injuries. Meanwhile, Ben Gibson has played every minute for Middlesbrough this season, and therefore seems worthy of that slightly heftier price tag of $5 million as we approach the double game week. First up in Game Week 34, it's a trip to Bournemouth. Eddie Howe's side have now gone 4 games without a win after the 4-0 defeat to Spurs last game week. They've scored a total of just 3 goals over that period. Only Burnley, Sunderland, Swansea and West Brom have scored fewer. Following that, they're at home to a Sunderland side that remain bottom of the Premier League table, having failed to find a win in any of their last 8 games. Sunderland have managed a mere 2 goals over that period, which is fewer than any other team in the league.